Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm at my local BMW dealerships, 𝖂𝖑 in Long Eaton. I'm here to try out the new automatic gearbox in this BMW R1300 GS. So sit back, relax and come along for the ride. So back in 2017, Honda bought out Africa Twin, which had the DCT box. I owned one of those bikes for a year, so I'm intrigued to find out how good this automatic box is on this GS. And for extra measure, I'm taking 𝖂𝖈𝖙 out, my pillion pastor. She's going to be joining me today. It was quite misty this morning, but it's just cleared. The sun's coming out. It's a very nice temperature. So yeah, always fancied trying this gearbox since it's been launched. So let's get this bike fired up and see what it's all about. As you can see, no clutch. It has got a gear lever, which is kind of like a switch instead of having it on the handlebars there. So we'll switch it on. So we've got a P on the dash there, which means it's in park, which means the bike can't roll. Because you can't leave it in gear, it needs some sort of system to stop it rolling back on a hill, let's say. So I believe we pull the front brake in, we press the start, then it puts it into neutral, we press it again, and then the bike is fired up. So obviously, whilst it's in neutral, you can give it the revs, and then you still have to kind of use the gear shifter to so now I've just clicked that down. You hear that clunk, it's in manual 1, but what I'm going to do, this little button on the left there, you give that a little press, and then it's got D1, which is drive. So we'll start off in drive and let's see how this one goes. So yeah, it's always a little bit weird because you do initially go for the clutch and it's just changed into second and then third, and we're doing 27 miles an hour, but that was nice and smooth. I have heard that the engine oil needs to warm up a little bit, or the gearbox oil, just to get it a little bit smoother, but up to now, you know, we've literally just pulled out the dealership and that felt good. Again, come to the stop. You don't need to put the clutch in. I don't need to touch that gear lever. Straight on the throttle, nice and smooth. You can hear the click of the gear changes. Also, just to add, we are in road mode as well. We'll try a couple of different modes and we'll find out what it's like going into kind of things like roundabouts. We're just about to jump on the A50 once we get on this road, so we'll get on the throttle a little bit and see what it's like at speed. We'll also try and find a little bit of traffic and navigate our way through that, see how it handles there. And also I want to do kind of like an acceleration test with the automatic gearbox, and also I can take over, I can put it into manual. Like if I demonstrate now, I've literally just clicked that down for my foot, it's still in drive, but now it's gone into second, and it's just changed back up on its own into third. I am a fan of this bike. I rode it not so long back and did a little riding review. I'll pop that link in the description. That was the Tramontana manual version. So we've just got up to kind of 47 miles an hour and the bike's already in kind of 6th gear. Just below that it drops down to 5th. So while we're on this little bit of road here, I'm just going to drop it down a couple of presses myself with a gear shifter. Yeah, and that's just seamless. It's more like a button than an actual lever itself. You're just operating it with your foot. So whilst I'm in drive at 5th, I'm just going to open the gas up a little bit and see what happens. So what I can remember from the Honda Africa Twin, by doing that, it would have dropped a couple of gears and then it would have really give you that boost. This bike doesn't seem to do that at that sort of speed. So I think what it's doing, because it's got so much torque, it still pulls through nicely without dropping down the gears. So we're just going into the roundabout, we'll get on the brakes. It's just kind of dropped down into 3rd there. We're we're just going to get on this A50 and then I'm just going to open it up a bit. The front wheel was coming up then. We just got a little bit of lift. I mean, I was kind of rolling the throttle on hard. I'm going to let the revs drop a little bit before it changes gear, and then I'm going to get back on the throttle again. So in automatic it's not changing down, but like I said, there's so much torque in this 1300cc engine, it just pulls nicely. So even at kind of 2,500 RPM in 6th gear, this bike still wants to go. But just look at that speed, how it's so smooth, and it's not even dropped down gears yet. As we get on the brakes, it's dropping down to 4th, 3rd, 2nd. It kind of rolls down to 2nd until you pretty much come to a stop, and then it will go into 1st. I mean, the great thing is when you come to a stop, obviously you've got no clutch lever to mess around with, so you can really just concentrate on the ride a little bit more. I mean, when you accelerate in them lower gears as well, my god, this bike just absolutely goes like stink. Yeah, you get a bit of a clunk as it changes, but actually it's pretty smooth. So we're just about to go onto the foggy dual carriageway. We're in 6th gear at the minute, in drive, in automatic. So I'm just going to give it again the full beans on the throttle. Like I say, it's not downshifted at all, but if I give it a couple of presses, that's straight into 4th. But once you get on that throttle, it doesn't want to change until them revs build right up. Oh yeah, that's good. That's nice. I like that. I like the fact the Civic drops. It'll let you drop down to 3rd. Let's see if it'll go into 2nd. It'll even go into 2nd at 40 something miles an hour. So you can really kind of like get this bike moving. Dare I say it, it'll probably do the gear changes better than you. So let's pop it into manual. So the little press with the button on the left, we've got 3M that's on there, so that means it's in the 3rd manual gear. And now it's down to me to operate that gearbox. Oh yeah, that was just absolutely seamless. That was me changing the gears with my foot, and there's no, because it's a switch, I say there's no clunkiness there. It literally is just the lightest of taps. It actually feels like the lightest quick shifter you've ever felt, but obviously it's not a quick shifter. I think I actually prefer it as well being foot operated, because it kind of keeps that traditional motorbike feel. If I'm in manual and I just drop right off the throttle and bring it down to kind of, yeah, just as soon as you get back down to them lower RPMs, that gearbox is saying to you, you need to change gear, you've not done it, I'm doing it for you. So on the downs, even in manual, and it's still in manual, it does take over if you forget to change, which is great, because what can happen is you would literally end up in 6th gear or something at the roundabout if it didn't do that for you. I don't know about on the ups though. No, so it won't change for you on the up, it starts flashing at you saying you've got to change. We're getting to the roundabout, let's get on the brakes, one little press down, engages the 2nd gear, absolutely beautiful. I'll tell you what, I am impressed with this gearbox. This is better than expected. So just as we've been filtering in a little bit of traffic, again, nice and easy. I feel having the pillion on the back as well, you're not wobbling around on the bike so much, because you know these can be weighty bikes as well. You feel like you've just got a little bit more control over the bike. Yeah, I like the fact that even though we're in manual, that gearbox just sorts itself out again, just drops down into the right gear, and you're never going to get it wrong. You're never going to stall the bike. You soon remember that you're in manual, because it probably would have changed into about 4th gear by now, and it's just holding those revs. So I like the fact that you can switch between the two. I'd imagine if you're going to be filtering through traffic all the time and you're not on that clutch, which could get really tiresome if you're constantly filtering through heavy traffic and things like that, this does make it so much easier. It's interesting because when I had the Honda DCT, it's the first time they made an automatic gearbox, and some of the feedback I was getting from people was just unbelievable. The negativity of it was just overwhelming. But you know, people would go, oh, I like to change the gears myself, and I go, yeah, but I do it with my fingers, you know. And it's like, it was quicker off the line. People think that they're losing that kind of feel of the motorbike, and actually you're gaining so much more. Like, again, for me, having this pillion on the back, it's just been absolutely brilliant. I wouldn't even know she's on the back, to be honest. And you get situations like this, it's just so smooth. But then you've still got the opportunity to change the gear when you want. If you're the sort of person that likes a nice, seamless gearbox, and you don't feel like you want to lose the feel of riding the bike, then this has got to be the one for you. All I'm saying is go try it, because unfortunately you're going to love it. We'll just put it back into drive. So there was a negativity about it, and now all of a sudden BMW's bought this bike out. You've got Yamaha that are probably going to introduce it to quite a range of their fleet. I know they brought it out on the MT-09, and I'm sure they're going to introduce it to the whole range of the MT selection on the Tracer, etc. I think MV Agusta's bought one out for theirs. You're going to start seeing this rolled out loads more. But do you know, on these big bikes, I find it essential to have it, and I think it's absolutely awesome that BMW's now brought it out. And we're just going to change it, and we're going to put it into dynamic now. Just going to drop it down to second. We're in dynamic, and we've got a bit of a run here, so we're just going to get on the gas. Yeah. Yeah, that just changes the gears really nicely. Like I said, it also gives you the option, if you want to just take over the gears, I'll just give it a click down. There's third, there's second. I think I'm actually in control of the bike more, because I've got less to think about. Whilst it is in dynamic, it is holding the revs a little bit higher. I mean, the other thing is with these bikes as well, so when you're going to go and do, let's say, a turn in the road, let's just turn into this lane here. Obviously you don't have to worry about what gears you're in, you just make the turn, and like I said, it's so much smoother even turning the bike round. So what I'm going to do now is just perform a bit of a 0 to 60 test. So I've got the GPS set up on here, and we're going to do a couple of tests. One where we're going to leave it in drive and just get on the throttle and just see how it kind of reacts, and then I'll do it when we put it into manual, and I'll do the foot changes myself, and we'll see if there's any difference in the time. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Whoa! Whoa, I mean, that was the 0 to 60, I mean, it comes up pretty quick. 3.53 seconds. Yeah, that was pretty rapid. 0 to 30 was 1.66, 0 to 60 was 3.53. Let's give it another go on that. 3, 2, 1, go. The wheels are up! 3.52. I mean, the electronics were taking over there, but they needed to. This is a beast of a bike, but like I said, that gearbox works well. I think you could beat anybody off the line. Okay, so same test again. This time we'll select the manual change, so I'm going to be changing the gears myself with my foot. 3, 2, 1, let's go. We got 3.47. I'm obviously quicker myself. We'll just do another one. So here we go again. 3, 2, 1. Feel the wheel coming up. My God, this is an animal of a bike. So yeah, we got it down to 3.43 on that second run. I mean, that is super quick. Like I said, there's not a lot in it, but I prefer to do the gear changes myself if you're going to get on the gas. And yeah, this engine just performs fantastic with that new ASA gearbox. Just performing those tests was only in the road mode as well. When you put it in dynamic, you're going to get that little bit more. As we just pull over again, you know, I'm sure anybody that's going to be out test riding one of these for the first time is going to be going for that clutch that's not there. And as I hit the stop button, it goes into P, and that means it's not going to move. It's not going to roll back or anything like that. So after taking this bike out for a bit of a spin, what do I think of BMW's ASA system, the automated shift assistant? I've got to say, I prefer it. It's, for me, if I was going to buy one of these bikes, I would buy it with an auto box on it. I know that there's probably going to be a bit of negativity out there with some of perhaps the older riders, but like I said, you need to go try this, because I thought the same back in 2017 with a Honda Africa Twin with a DCT box. After test riding that bike and test riding the manual one, I just went and bought the DCT. Absolutely loved it for the time I owned it. I'm quite surprised that BMW is a bit late to the party with this one. Obviously a first gen box. I would say when you get on the gas in drive between that second and third gear, there's a little bit of jerkiness, but that is when you're fully tanking it. When you're just accelerating off normally or even at slightly higher speed, it's an absolute seamless gearbox. You can hear the change, but that is not annoying. On the downshift, the bike is just perfect. Going into the corners, going into the roundabouts, when you're on that brake, that box is bum, 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 and it's exactly in the gear it needs to be. When you put it into dynamic, yes, it livens the bike up and it'll hold them gears a little bit more for when it changes. I've not even noticed having a pillion passenger on the back today, to be honest. It's been effortless to ride. Some people might think that puts you off a little bit. I personally don't. I think it makes it more enjoyable. The fact that you've got the gear shifter down there that changes the gears is perfect for me. All I could say is, like I say, guys, just go and try one, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Let me get a little bit of a pillion perspective from Amy, because she's the one that's been sat on the back.
Yeah, it's been lovely, really smooth. I mean, sometimes when I'm on the back, we do a bit of head butting, head banging. But today, that's not been a problem at all. Can't even tell when you're changing gear.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely a plus. I am super impressed with it. So, hope you liked the video, guys. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give us a like, and we'll see you in the next one.